that you're enjoying your first few days of homeschool and hope you're getting a lot done and getting a lot of rest and having a good time too. Well, I wanted to catch you up with Pilgrim's Progress. We are at chapter 32 and I'm just going to start from there. I thought about going back and rereading some, but I think we're just going to go forward. And so we know that Christiana and her good friend and her boys are, they just left the interpreter's house, and Christian had left them some signs along the way, kind of as warnings. And also, Great Heart is there with them now to help them. So we'll start on chapter 32, and I'll hold up the pictures as we have them. Not long after they left the spot, a great mist fell on them, and they could not see. "What shall we do?" said they. Their guide told them not to fear, but to stand still while he tried to find a safe path out. Then said Christiana to Mercy, "Now I see what my poor dear Christian went through. I have heard much of this place. Poor man, he went here in the dead of night, and no one was with him. Who can tell what the valley of the shadow of death should mean until they actually see it? To be here fills my heart with fear." Great Heart said, "It seems now as if the earth were a prison around us. I would not boast, but I believe that we shall still find our way out. Come, let us pray for light to him that can give it." So they did weep and pray, and since the path was now smoother, they proceeded much faster. Mercy said, "To be here is not as sweet as it was at the gate, or at Mr. Interpreter's, or at the house which we just left." "Oh," said one of the boys, "it is not so bad to go through this place as it is to dwell here for all time. For this place surely shows us how blessed the city is to which we go, and how little we have left behind us." Great Heart said, "Well said, Samuel, thou dost now speak like a man." Samuel said, "Why, surely if I get out of this place, I think I shall prize that which is right and good more than I have done all of my life." Great Heart said, "We shall find our way out by and by." So they went on. Let me see if you can see it good. Okay. Joseph said, "Can we not see the end of this valley yet?" Great Heart said, "Look to your feet, for you will soon be where the snares are." So they took great care where they stepped. Great Heart said, "Men come here and bring no guide with them. That is why they die from the snares they meet with in the way. Poor Christian, it is strange he made it out of this place safely, but God dwelt in his soul, and he had a stout heart of his own, or else he could have not done it." Christiana said, "I wish that there were an inn here where we all could rest." "Well," said Mr. Honest, one whom they had just met, "there is such a place not far off." So there they went, and the host, whose name was Gaius, said, "Come in, for my house was built for pilgrims such as you." Great Heart said, "Good Gaius, let us eat. What have you for us to eat? We have gone through many dangers and stand much in need of food." Gaius said, "It is not late for us to go out and seek food, but anything we have you may eat." The meal was then prepared. Near the end of the feast, as they all sat around the table to crack nuts, old Honest said to Gaius, "Tell me what this verse means." "A man there was, and some did count him mad. The more that this man gave, the more he had." Then all the youths gave a guess as to what Gaius would say about it. He sat still a while and then said, "He that gives his goods to the poor shall have as much and 10 times more." Joseph said, "I did not think, sir, that you would know its meaning." Gaius said, "Ah, I have learned from my Lord to be kind, and I find I gain from it." They spent 10 days at the house of Gaius, and then they left. But on the last day he made them a feast, of which they all ate and drank. Greatheart said, "Now, Gaius, the hour has come that we must be gone. Tell me what I owe you for this long stay at your inn, for we have been here for quite some time." Gaius said, "At my house no one pays, for the Good Samaritan told me that I was to look to him for all my expenses." Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions now to think it through. When did the path get smoother for those that were traveling, and what does this tell us? Do you remember? When did the path get smoother? On their journey, Greatheart said, "Come, let us pray for light to him that could give it." So they wept, they cried, and they prayed. And as they were doing that, the path got smoother, and they began to go through it much faster. So what does that tell us? Well, one thing I know, when you're going through a hard time, if you will call out to God, if you'll pour out your heart to him, it goes a lot better. If you just ask the Lord, "Oh God, show me what you want me to learn for this. Help me to have a good spirit. Help me to be kind." And just, if you're going to cry, it would be better just to cry out to the Lord instead of just, staying back and complaining. So it can teach us to cry out to the Lord and take our needs to him. What is the value in going through dark and dangerous places? Well, Samuel, one of the little boys, said, "It's not so bad to go through this place as it would be to be here forever." But this place shows us how blessed the city is to which we go and how little we have left behind us. One thing that I have learned, and this story is teaching that too, is that when you're in a very uncomfortable situation, maybe things are not going just like you want them to go, it makes me want to go to heaven that much more. To know that in heaven there's not going to be any sadness, there's not going to be anything bad. It's going to be a wonderful place. That old song says, "How beautiful heaven must be." Another one says, "Won't it be wonderful there? We won't have to go through any hard times in heaven." Okay, and the last question, did the pilgrims have to pay Gaius for staying at his lodge? Why? Or why not? And we know they didn't have to pay, and he didn't charge them because he said he's learned from his Lord that it's better to give than to receive, and that when you give, you get a greater blessing from that. Our verse for that chapter is Psalms 37, 4 and 5. "Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass." And I want to encourage you, while you're at home this week, think about a way that you could give to someone else. It could be to your mom or to your dad or your brothers or sisters or anyone in your family you could give to. Or if you know someone, maybe your grandparents, you could give them a telephone call and just ask to see how they're doing, just to check on them. And that would mean so much. And really, when you reach out to others, you may have needs inside of you thinking, "Well, I need somebody to help me." But when you make the effort to reach out to someone else, God will give you such a joy inside. And so I want that to encourage you, and just keep putting the Lord first in your life. Spend time with him every day, and he'll fill you with the joy. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.